know about CARICOM, but CARICOM is a region just like European states and American states. It's a group of countries who form a club basically to get a stronger voice, and it's called CARICOM. They have about 30 member countries, and my country is Guyana, and we are secretariat to CARICOM. So I had my first event in Guyana in 2004. Mr. Glover, who is a UNICEF ambassador and also a Hollywood actor, partnered with me to do this event and launch my foundation. My fundraiser is an international beauty pageant because my foundation is about empowering women and girls. I choose this route and this topic and this issues because I feel that a lot of our differences come from our lack of understanding and education about culture. And so Ms. CARICOM allows me to interact with different people from different culture in a setting that's pleasant and enjoyable, so there's less stress on the differences and there's more emphasis on education and sharing. And in doing that, I think that we get a little bit closer to understanding and tolerating each other. And if we can do that, I think eventually it takes us closer to peace, which is the UN agenda of getting to a more peaceful world. So this is how we fit in. We've done many events. We've done events at the Apollo Theater. We've done events overseas in Montserrat. We attach ourselves to issues that are community-based. And some of the things that we've done has led us down some narrow streets. For example, we did an event in Montserrat. I don't know if most of you heard about Montserrat. People know it because it's a volcano. That's how they know it. Well, we met the minister of Montserrat at Brooklyn Borough Hall one summer, and he came here to ask for help because the Queen of England, you know, they're a state. And England owns them, right? So they were, long story short, they were asked to leave the island, and 80,000 people got on a warship that the Queen sent and went to England, and about 15,000 people stayed. But in order for them to stay, they had to prove that there was traffic into Montserrat, whatever the technical terms is, that the island was still functional. And they were looking for someone to help them with this. So they had to have people go in and out, whatever. We volunteered, and we went there, and we did our event. We took 87 people in a matter of 3 months, and that helped them resolve the issue. And so we saved the country. Wow. But this has been the kind of thing we've been doing. In doing the pageant, the beauty pageant, I myself, I am a child of a 12-year-old. My mom was 12 when she had me. And I am not from Africa. I'm not from India. I'm from Guyana, South America. I say this to say that it exists in all cultures, all countries. This is a universal issue with child marriages and children being abused or being, I can't say misled. Abuse is the only term I could come up with, because when society does not protect our children, okay, we are in trouble. And basically that's what it was. And so it's my passion to empower women, to support them, to nurture them, to empower them, to promote them. I have a passion because I've lived the journey. I've lived the journey. Because my mom was 12, she was just a child. She died at the age of 57. God rest her soul, but she died 12 years old. She never matured. It's a emotional destruction that some people never recover from. Because it's not only our bodies that are not prepared for the journey, it's our mind, our social presence, and everything else that goes along with it. So it's a killer. It's a killer. And as women, I'm really glad that this session of CSW was based on social protection, because we need that protection. We need more emphasis, and we need more more spotlight on this, because it has to start at the top, and I think the UN is as high as we can go. So I am really honored that all of you didn't sleep. I got up so early to be here. I know we're on the last day, and I know that a lot of us are tired. We had a long journey, but it's essential for us to participate. And I hope that when each one of us leave here, this event and how many other today we're going to attend, and all the ones that you have attended, that you take a message back and share it with at least one female, be it I'd rather be a younger, but any female. Because if we can do that, then we would have accomplished the goal that was set out for us here at CSW 63. So I hope that you guys follow us. We are open, and we are willing to partner with just about anybody if we can help or bring resources to the table in any kind of way. We're open, and we ask you, just get in touch with us. We are Ms. CARICOM, and because of Mr. Glover involvement with us, we're all over the web.
Hello.
So I am based in time. I'm going to check my time, and if she doesn't make it, then we'll have her sing somewhere in between, because we don't want to give her, I hear the elevator, and I'm thinking that might be her. So we will start our program, and we hope that, because she's another young person, another young woman who also has a story, and this is her opportunity to be empowered too. So let me just make one call, and we'll start in 2 minutes. So, and we're going to get started. So, you know, through all things, we have to give thanks and praise. So we'll have our opening prayer.
Hindu prayer over 10,000 years old. And Hinduism has a female and male energy sugar. That's only religion has a female goddess. Om Trayambagam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Urvaryukamyogandana Mrityor Muksheyamamrudat Sarvesham Swastirvavadum Sarvesham Purnam Bhavadum Sarvesham Shantir Bhavadum Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavadum Sarve Bhavantu Suginaga Sarve Sandhu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Bachyandu Magachet Dukhabad Bhave Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amradam Gamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Loka Samasta Sukino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukino Bhavantu Loka samasta sugino bhavantu. May peace prevail on earth.
I wear many hats. I'm also a chaplain, so I'll just do a little English prayer. Dear Lord, I hope that you look down upon us and this journey that we're on, and that you guide and protect us through the journey that we're going on. Bless and keep us safe in this place that we are. For those who come from near and far, may their journey home be safe and progressive. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen.
Okay, she is here, and maybe you could tell her to come in so we could do the anthem and get started. I think one way. All the speakers. Is there, we're going to have a short forum here, and so I know that if there is one or two people who would like to share something, and if we keep it within 2 minutes, we would also like to give you a chance to express yourself once the forum started, and the moderator will guide you as to that. Can we have a show of hands of how many people come from outside the U.S. here? Awesome. So can we get some countries that you come from? Could you stand up?
Republic of Ireland.
Oh my goodness! Stand up. So stand up all the overseas guests. Stand up all the overseas guests. So one by one, you will say where you come from and what organization you're connected to. Because we're live streaming it, and we tell you how to get that. And then you here. Who was you started in the back, right?
Yes.
You said Ireland.
Yes, Republic of Ireland.
What organization?
African Citizens Development Foundation.
Next.
Northern Ireland, Training for Women Network in Belfast.
Wow. You probably can give them the email or whatever too, because it's going to be so they can contact you. Give-
Training for Women Network, Belfast, Northern Ireland.
Wow. So just give it, and you could give the email website.
I'm from London, UK. I'm
Woo!
a social worker.
On this side. The one standing. The one standing.
The one standing.
Right over here.
Hi, Fiona McDonald from Belfast as well, TWM.
And Nate McDonald from Belfast, TWM.
Wow. Right.
Jane Hopkins from Belfast, TWM. Elizabeth Thompson, Belfast, Training for Women Network.
Pauline Node from Belfast, Training for Women Network.
Ada Hanna from Belfast, Training for Women Network.
Morgan Taylor from Belfast, Training for Women Network.
Annie Hooper from Derry, Ireland, Training for Women's Network and Theatre of Witness.
Are you guys going to invite us to come and visit you? Because you seem like you had a Did you bring any materials or anything to give out? Yes, feel free to give them out because you know some.
One more.
Oh, one more here. Two more.
Justina Matale. I am from Zambia, but I live and work in London, England. I am African Woman of the Year from the Justina Matale Foundation, the International Women's Think Tank, the UK National Alliance of Women's Organizations, Positive Runway, and several others.
Double, one more here.
Hi, I'm Dr. Amina Ali. I represent UN Women Gambia here in the United States, born and raised in Brooklyn, but my ancestry is representing the rural and indigenous people of the Republic of the Gambia.
So we truly have an international audience. We have other organizations here that want to stand up and say something. Go ahead.
I am Marilyn Williams. I represent Disciple Women for the Christian Church Disciples of Christ International, United States and Canada, and parts of the continent.
Don't be shy. Come on. This is we're going to live stream this, and you can get the information on how to access the tape. So, go ahead. Anyone else?
I'm Nicole Ross from Philadelphia.
Hey, everybody, 1 second. We want to get you on camera there.
I'm Nicole Ross from Philadelphia. My organization is called Hands Across Philadelphia, and I've had a great time here at CSW, and I'm looking forward to meet everyone from all over the world.
This is awesome. I see we have some latecomers in the back. Welcome. I know it's early in the morning. This is an opportunity for us to network, and I think that the stronger we are, the more in contact and communication we are, the more we'll be able to educate each other and stand together, and I think our voice will be heard better and louder. So it's a great opportunity for us to network and stay in touch and understand what someone else is doing. I would love to come to Belfast.
I'm moving to Belfast. Everybody from Belfast.
So let me ask you guys, you came, or did you had a big program?
Yeah, we're here to showcase our program that we have ran for the past 2 years, Women Involved in Community Transformation. In Belfast, Northern Ireland, we're still very much controlled by paramilitarism. Although on paper we have peace, but on the streets it's not like that. So we've came to showcase the impact of paramilitarism on women living in Northern Ireland. We did a workshop at the start of the week, which was very powerful. We had women's own stories, and we also had a drama piece showcasing a woman who has lived with a paramilitary in her life over the decades. But we've all enjoyed the week, and we've had a fantastic time.
I hope you made a lot of new friends.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, well, welcome to our CSW program. Okay, if our singer can't get out to the restroom, we are going to get started. That's it, because the UN going to kick us out of here. So we would like to think, but we are now 18 minutes into our program. So if she's not ready, we're going to go ahead and get started. Is she ready?
Let me just say one.
Come on up.
Why she just ready?
No more getting ready.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Sawala Kesley, and I'm a partner of Dr. Sanchez, and we all share the same office space and a lot of other things. But when I mean a lot of other things, no. Don't go the other route. No, but on a serious note, though, I'd like to share just an African concept with you, and I will take my seat. All of us are gathered in this room today because somebody took the time off to get us together. And oftentimes, these people, they gave awards, but they don't get awards. And oftentimes, they don't get recognized. And people who do this kind of work, they die poor sometimes. Because again, when you get invited here, sometimes when other people honor you, you pay to be honored. I have been honored, and I've had to buy 2 or 3 tables, $2,000, $3,000 a piece. But this event has been held for free. But you don't know sometimes behind the scene what goes into all of this work. It's sacrificial. And so I'd just like to acknowledge this young lady and let us give her a rousing hand of applause. again, this is, thank you. You can have a seat.
I was looking for the young lady.
Very quickly, in Africa, they say beauty is not a physical thing.
That's right.
It's a spirit.
It comes from within.
Yes. It's skin deep. In the Western world, when we talk about beauty, we look at the physical contour of a woman, you know, the pretty hair, I mean, the nice physique, those eyes, and it can go on and on. And sometimes you hear some of the women talking, oh, the guy has a cute butt and all of that. I mean, but these things, that's how we view beauty. But from the African concept, beauty is a spirit.
It is.
Even though you can't see it, you can perceive it. Even though you can't touch it, but you can feel it. And sometimes its sweet embrace is always around you. And oftentimes you meet somebody, you don't know that person from nowhere. But it's as if your spirit connects to that person has a beautiful spirit. And you say, damn, look, I've known this person for many years.
Yeah.
It's that beautiful spirit that was up in that person. And there's the same spirit that when a man marries a woman and all of a sudden this woman develops cancer, those lovely hair, you see them dropping. Those beautiful eyes, they are all sunken in. The cheekbone and all of that was so high, and all of a sudden, the face is not all that it is. And oftentimes, sometimes, even the other part is all gone. But that guy can still look at that beautiful woman and say, that's the love of my life. He didn't fall in love with that physical, he fell in love with that spirit. So all I'm saying to all of us, it takes beautiful people to make something like this happen. To bring people together. To get us share our simple and common humanity. It doesn't matter whether you are black, white, yellow, green. We are all God's creation, and we are all beautifully made. And so, again, let's celebrate this time. And again, thank you so much, Dr. Sanchez.
I had to look around for the young woman he was talking about because I tell my son, they started celebrating last year, my 60th birthday, because all of it last year I kept saying, oh, I'm going to be 60 next year, and I confused him. But and he thought I was 60 last year, but I'll be 60 this year. So they were planning a party for me. My birthday is December 23rd. So last Christmas they were planning my 60th birthday. I said, hello, next year. I'd like to introduce Lotus. Come on here. She's one of my girls that was in one of my pageant, and she has done such wonderful things. She is a entrepreneur, she's a businesswoman, she's a singer, she's a performer, and she's going to sing the national anthem. And I just want her, come on up here. I want to tell them a little bit about yourself real quick, and then you're going to sing.
How you doing? My name is Donnell Lotus Davis, and I am a singer, songwriter, an actress. Right now I'm interning at the Fortune Society in the Creative Arts Department, where I basically help people that have come home from jail or prison, basically providing them with services and activities for them to get into positively to stay out of trouble. And it's an honor to be here even on this rainy day, and hope you enjoy it. I'm going to sing the national anthem. Thank you.
Butterfinger?
Better Butterfinger. Better Butterfinger.
Slide it over. The arrow. Yeah. You have to go back to the next song. Where did you do? Okay, it's his phone. I'm trying to I only have to. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that, guy. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and the bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, o'er the gladly through, and the rockets red clear, the bombs burst, sting in air, gave proof to the night that a flag was still there. Oh, save does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the
See, it was worth the wait.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So we'll get started. I'll turn it over to our moderator, Miss Linda Felix Johnson.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I know we didn't have coffee here, but okay, this is a lot better. I am Linda Felix Johnson, and I was charged to be the moderator here today on this most important month. I know we normally celebrate Women's Month, and for a lot of individuals, they tend to forget after that month that we are still women and there are still issues that we need to address. And over this month, I've been talking to several different, in several different forums, and I've been telling and imploring individuals not to only celebrate Women's Month, but to celebrate women every day. And let's continue to fight every day for the causes that impede women in their progress. And to assist young women and in-between women, because I don't like to say old, so it's the young and the tween women, to continue to find your purpose, explore what your passions are, and never to let anyone tell you that your dreams are not attainable. Now I will introduce a few of our speakers. Dr. Tankapan will be our first speaker today. The format this will take, the speakers will speak for I think about 5 minutes, and we will have a Q&A. I will take the questions, and we will have maybe about 2 or 3 people because we're working with timing here. And so I hope you will cooperate with us. And I'm so interested in getting into this conversation. I forgot to tell you a little bit about what I do. I always do that because what I do is not as important as the people I help. And so, but within this forum here, I think it's important that we know what each other does, and that will create a synergy where we could network and help each other, because I always say there is enough for all of us to participate. There is a global issue that we are addressing, and there is never too much organizations being a part of it. And so I am a psychologist. I am also the president of an organization I founded called Women of Mission International. And the organization was founded to empower women and girls through education and social engagement. We find jobs for young women. We give out scholarships to students who, mainly women, but we have since added men to the conversation because what we found is that when we address women's issues and we don't include the men, then we might be creating more issues in that situation, relationship, or whatever, because the men are going to see their women now empowered and they're not understanding what's happening. So we have added men to our conversation where we will assist them to understand the changes that they're now seeing in their women folk. And we also are including young men because we want them to grow up to be the men that will respect and honor women. And in a nutshell, that's what I do. And as we go along, we will be discussing some of the things and how we could help each other. It's not about you helping me. It's about us working together to help the individuals that are suffering, the individuals both here and worldwide, because I was heartened to hear that we have people from different parts of the world here. And before you leave, we have a sign-in sheet going around, and we will share that with everyone in the room because it's important that we get together. I will now give the mic to Dr. Tankapan, who is the founder and the CEO of World Yoga Community, Inc.
Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
You know the meaning of namaste?
No.
That I bow down to the divinity which you have and I have. We are the same. I'm so glad and honored to be here with my divine and chosen sisters and brothers from the world.
Yes.
Welcome to New York. So I want to thank and congratulate Dr. Monica, because she's my spiritual sister for a long time at the UN and other events. I love people when they work for the community. I grew up in a family. Father is an Orthodox Christian, mother is a Hindu Buddhist. 60 years back when they married, both kicked out because they are against the culture. But I am so proud of them because I born from them. I am able to travel around the world, met over 5 million people, and made them as my family.
Yes, yes.
Last few weeks I said in different meetings, empowering women and children, educating men is not simple work. It's very hard because we came from certain stamped culture. We have to update our outdated philosophies. Whatever happened in the past, fine. But in 21st century, we are more educated. Be open. Be spiritual being more than a religious being.
That's right.
When you go to the deeper philosophy of religion, you understand how to love each other, how to care each other. I want you to repeat this verse. Begin the day with love.
Begin the day with love.
Spend the day with love.
Spend the day with love.
Fill the day with love.
Fill the day with love.
End the day with love.
End the day with love.
That is the way to God. Is that good?
Yes.
When you look at mothers, I cannot express myself about a mother. Very hard, the deep connection with my mother. She was very dark, my dad was very light. I became a brownie. I am proud of it. But they were educated. Parents gave them education more than money. They know how to take care of people, how to take care of children, take care of the nature, planting all the vegetables at home, flowers, whatever we need, that's how we grow up. Never abuse the nature. When you go to the Eastern culture or African culture, you see they are connected with earth and the nature. When we go away from it, we lose our energy. We have prana, means energy, divine energy from the universe to us. We made of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, what else?
Wind.
Air and space. We all are made of these 5 elements. We are equal. We may be unequal by look, by education, or the size, or color, that's fine. This is the thing I learned from my spiritual journey. I used to travel in different areas in India, met great saints, live in the cave to experience myself. End up in New York City on the concrete lab. At that I have a duty to do something here. In 2007 I left New York. One of the saints from New York came to India. He was 123 years old. He said, no, you had to come back. We have some work to do. I said, I'm ready. I'm saying my mother taught me to how to respect ladies from the childhood. We have 3 children in the family, my brother, my sister and me. We do all the work equally. There's no separation. You should cook, you should wash. No, we all do the work. Mother educated her students, she was a teacher, same way. So when we teach our children from childhood and we show how we teach and preach and practice, they will learn. A smile can change the world. I believe a smile can change the world. When you walk on the street of the New York, people are so uptight.
Yes.
So I just go and smile. And say, what happened to this guy? We had to smile. We had to dance. We had to sing. These are the divine natural quality of a human being.
Yes.
We are divine. What is it? Divine. Whatever, wherever you are from, doesn't matter. We have 2 legs, 2 hands, 2 eyes, 2 ears.
Yes.
For a purpose. There's a purpose. We are here to serve people. In this room, in this holy building, we have more responsibility than the people outside this building. That's the purpose we all are sitting here. We are here to help each other, communicate each other. Invite us to your countries, come to our countries. Interact, international integration. This is the way we open up our ideologies. We care. If you have a technology, if I discover a technology, I want to share with the people. That is International Day of Yoga. Last 25 years, I was working for it. It happened at the UN because of this openness. Hindu group said, no, we had to have a day as a Hindu celebration. I said, no. Yoga for everybody. It should be Christian should be there, Muslim should be there, everybody should be there. So, empowering women, number 1.
Yes.
Reason, they can give birth. 10 months, my mother carried me. My father didn't carry me. What mother think, what she eat, that is coming to me.
That's right.
Right? So we had to care about the pregnant ladies with good food, treat them nicely, make them happy. In Ayurveda, very clearly mentioned, that is 10,000 years before they already written in what to eat, what to think, where they're supposed to be. That will affect the child. And give a natural birth. We can have, if any crisis, go to the hospital. Otherwise, no. Now, birth is a business. Food is a business. Education is a business. Everything business. What is humanity? We are losing. Should we need humanity or we need a currency? We are going away from the reality. So we have to restructure ourselves only through education. From childhood, we have to teach them values, moralities, culture, love each other, play around. This is the way. I'm so happy about my parents. They didn't give any money, but they gave me help, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, nothing else. I have a lot of students, parents separate, father separate, mother go there. They don't know what is the meaning of love. They cannot understand. I cannot blame them because they need my help. So I take them with me wherever I go, teach them. And also very hard, not simple. So I want to conclude. Thank you everyone. Be together. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tankapan. And do we have any questions for the doctor?
Yes. My question was, how do you build confidence with the young generation and the older generation, spiritually and morally? Because our generation today is so disconnected with what's going on in the world. So they're so wrapped up in yeah.
Children cannot have a cell phone.
Right.
They should stop it. Interact with the parents.
Yeah.
Interact with the friends. Be with the elders. Learn from them.
Right on.
That will change.
That's the only way. Thank you. And our next speaker is Dr. Amina Ali. She is a special envoy to the UN Women Gambia 2019 representative for the International Model United Nations Association. She is a proud Gulf War veteran and ambassador for International Human Rights Commission, and she is going to be speaking on CSW 63 and the power of voicing our dreams. Let's welcome Dr. Ali.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am excited. It is the last day, but that just means we have to party tonight, yes? So I wanted to come to you today. I'm going to be brief, and although we have a lot of humanitarian talks that we give almost daily, I like intimate gatherings. It allows it to be a little bit more personable, and it allows us to be able to network and commune efficiently. But as I always do, before I begin anything, I have to begin in prayer. Because there are so many different faiths and recognitions that are too numerous to name, I normally do what we call a spiritual word of recognition. And that means just that. There will be no terms, there will be no specific titles that are given, so that all will be inclusive in the intention of the petition of prayer. So let us bow our heads as we are willing and able. Let us focus on the right now. Let us take a few seconds to meditate on the current condition of this moment. To open thought, solutions, and answers to what causes us to question what is happening. Staying stagnant is not a solution, but desiring better begins the process. The pain is real, the suffering is optional. So let's focus our time in the right now moment just to say thank you. Amen. Okay, so we are here at CSW 63. That means there was 62 other attempts before it, but this one is going to be the best. So today we're going to open up with some of the things that we do in the UN, as well as those that are not familiar with UN Women, and specifically UN Women Gambia. Of course, that is a West African country that is probably like a little sliver. If you ever look at Senegal and you blink, you'll miss it. But it is a very, very intentional landmass that is right in the southern area of Senegal, and it is filled with beautiful people, great food, and even better energy. And I bring you greetings from that land, and I pray that something that you say today will help you to better understand what the Gambia is and better ways to help the women there especially. We have 4 seeds of the humanitarian conversation. I'll say that again. There are 4 seeds, S-E-E-D-S, to the humanitarian conversation. And those seeds are rooted in soil. Soil stands for strengths, opportunities, innovations, and learning. Now, as we end this great week and begin the aftercare of what we're doing as solutions for women, we have to remember that this does not end at 5 o'clock today. The needs of women, the desire for women to be helped, empowered, and strengthened in voice is ongoing and eternal. But what we want to do is begin to understand, how do we help? A lot of times you hear our parents just say, just do it. Or you hear the marketing ploy to have that as a center of just get it done. Some people say, let's go. Some people say, let it go. But what we need to do is at least begin. So let's begin with the beginning. Let's begin with understanding people's strengths and talents and identify innate abilities in everyone. Not everyone is great or gifted in everything. Not everyone can do everything. As we see in the delegate here from Belfast, everyone is doing something different in the same organization. But the common goal is to come to a solution to whatever it is that is of ailment. Likewise, we have to see that each of us coming together in a certain team brings a grand talent, innovation, and ability. We have to recognize that. We have to celebrate that, and we have to salute that in raising the voice of women especially. Number 2 is the opportunities for growth. This is huge because it identifies the competency of the performance of standards. This helps you to give a little more to the checks and balances. See what works, see what doesn't work, see what helps, see what doesn't help, see what has happened in the past that was great and what we see now as microwave or quick and hasty. We have to understand that whatever it is that we're doing with the greatest of our abilities and talents at that moment. But there is always room for improvement. Number 3 is the innovations and continuous improvement. This is identifying personal and communal places that we own. This is backing on number 2. This is also bringing in our personal adaptations. We come from different cultures, different backgrounds. We can all put a potato in a pot, but everybody will have a different recipe as to how they serve it. But we all understand that that potato in that pot, served in many different ways, will still feed many people. So we have to look at what it is that we're giving, regardless of how it is seen or viewed or understood. It is still the ability to feed, and that's what we have to focus on. Stop looking at how you do it and how we used to do it, or even how our grandmother did it. We have to look at the fact that we're still feeding, and people are being fed by what it is that we're offering. So we always have to make sure that it's spiritually, physically, and mentally nutritious as we give it. And the last one is learning and development. This is to identify future learning opportunities. As we mentioned, we come with all gifts and talents, different abilities, and many ways to do it. But understand that somebody is going to be watching what we do. And if we're talking about young women, they're going to come behind us and they're going to learn by our example and they're going to lead by our efforts. How many times as parents, and I'm one of 6 girls, how many times have you said, do something because I said so? And how many times have they done what you do? So they don't always listen to what you say. They do watch what you do. Many of us lead by example, and some of us just offer great conversation. But whatever it is that we do, we have to understand that there are people that are going to be watching us. So whether we comb our hair in the morning or we wear a traditional wrap, we're understanding that how we adorn ourselves physically, how we speak intellectually, and how we adorn ourselves with what we offer in this world will teach someone something, even if it's what not to do. I thank you so very much for what it is that you give today, and I thank you for listening.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any questions for Dr. Ali?
Oh, I wasn't supposed to sit down. Okay, sorry. We're always told in the UN to just speak and sit down. Any questions?
Any questions?
I'm sorry. No? Okay, thank
I
you.
don't have a question.
Oh,
just
sorry.
comments. It's that for me so far, this has been my best experience because for me it doesn't matter what conflicts, what issues we all have. The message is be the best that you can and be the best that you can for somebody else because you can bring out the best that you can. And Denzel Washington once said, when you make it to the top, don't be content. Reach out and grab somebody.
And we had another.
Yes.
I just wanted to know how your experience as a veteran, how that's impacted on your life.
Actually, it allowed me to, sorry, I don't know if this.
Yes, it is.
My voice is louder. Oh, thank you. It allowed me to understand what it was that I was called to do. First of all, it allowed me to understand what not to do to other people that I don't know. So I took away from that experience the ability to understand what I was called to do, but leadership entitles fellowship. So if you're an effective leader, you have to understand where you're leading your troops. And even though you're called to do a duty, there's a moral attrition that falls into that. And what I mean by that is, I'm not unpatriotic. I am more for the human, though. And the human deserves rights, regardless of what side of the field that you say that you're on. And if I know you have not done me wrong, there is a moral injury that happens when I have to inflict harm on you because I was told to. So you have to see humanity as the whole. If you don't want that done to you, as is written in all of the biblical texts and the religious texts, then you cannot do it to someone else. When I left, the moral attrition was my PTSD. Knowing that I did something to someone that did no harm to me. Knowing that I was led by that example, and I was fed the belief that I had to harm someone or harm an individual in some way, when all I wanted to do was study medicine. And that's what I went into the military for them to pay for medical school. I hate to say
it. The collective, on behalf of the group, and I know collectively, we want to thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And Monica told me that we have a short time here, so I will call the next speaker up, Saran Kamara. I hope I'm saying it right. Yes. I hope I'm doing justice to your name. Kamara. Okay, she is recognized for her work in internal audit and philanthropy. She possesses over 15 years of diverse external audit experience, including information technology. She has a passion for helping children in need, and she provides financial aid to children in Africa who have life-threatening illnesses and supports them financially to get high-quality treatment. She also provides educational material to children in need, and because of her passion for helping children, she is involved in African organizations with similar goals. She migrated to the United States not knowing a word of English, but she was able to learn English, graduate from college, obtain her MBA and CPA while raising 3 children. And now I'd like to introduce you to Saran. I'm not gonna mess up your last name. Yes.
The first name is one that most people have in common.
Yes, and I get
very
that.
well.
Exactly.
So thank you very much for the introduction. And I have to say I'm honored, and it's a privilege for me to be here today. So this is not something that you do all the time. And being recognized is very, very important. But I have to say that I'm here as a regular person. And the fact that we honor women today will give me a chance to give my story, to speak about how I got here. And one thing that is important is teaching a girl with education. And also ingraining that into her brain. Because that girl will have a significant impact on the future generation. That is, even if she did not finish school. So I want to give a story which will be the one of my mother. You see, my mother got married very young. She has an opportunity to be in school, but she got married after 7th grade. And she was taught, she did what a typical woman was taught to do in the Ivory Coast. She had 12 children, but her focus were her children. You see, my father was an accountant also, but he was absent most of the time. He did provide us with education, and he took care of his family. He fed us, but he was not involved in our education. My mother every day would make sure that we know that education is it before anything else. When you come to my house, you will see a blackbird and a whip. We all know what is a whip for. Yes, and she want to make sure that whatever she did not accomplish, we had accomplished it. She had 7 daughters and 5 boys. And I have to tell you, even when we do chores, when we clean the house, we have to be reciting our lesson. We have to be reciting our multiplication facts. You see, she did not have too many friends because of the way she was brutally taken from her schooling and put into marriage. So she has fulfillment to do. She has to fulfill the marital status, the marital needs, and also take over 12 children. But thanks to her today, all her children, we are able to accomplish higher education. And I'm sure that 11 of us, the remaining 11 of us, we also do the same thing for our children. And we make sure that our kids go a step further. I came here is not for any, and it's coming here speaking to people. I today realized that I came here because I wasn't going to be able to accomplish what I've done since I came to America. Sometimes you flee your country. It's not because of terror. It's not because of anything. It's for a purpose that you don't even know. It's only later on in life you say, wow, this is why I left. And I was able to recognize that, to be able to do what I've done because of what my mother done. So you see how it's important to teach a girl the importance of education. Because that girl in the future will impact a whole generation. Think about it, it started with my mother. She has 11 children. She has 12 children, but now it's 11 children remaining. Now, spread that around and see how it will impact the whole world. And most of my mother's kids, there's engineers, there's economists, there's anesthetists, there's accountant, there's even seamstress. To say one person, one woman is more likely a head of a nation because she got So teaching one girl will go a long way. So that's all I have to say today.
Any questions?
Yes.
Yes, they're right.
I have one. How long did it take you to learn and master the English? You speak it so well.
Really?
Yes. So well.
You know, learning a language, the first year, whatever you learn from a language for the first year, that's it. You have to, I came here in 1998.
Okay.
And my brother, I'm a twin. My brother allowed us to come here. But I can't tell you how long it took me to learn because I'm still learning. But at one point I was frustrated. I did not realize that coming to America to study, I have to learn English. This was a reality that hit me. I thought I was coming. So I started school 2 years later.
Wow.
But I'm still learning English. And I'm very happy that you say that.
Yeah,
but,
well, I was born in Brooklyn and I'm still learning English. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we need to stress that educating our girls, education is power. And not only education in academia, but education in every facet of life. because if we fail to, then we will be failing the next generation.
Yes.
I want to stress I see someone raise their hand. Yes.
I'm Gifty from Ghana, and I want to add up to what she just said. I'm like sending you to a place where maybe for the first time you might not be happy about it, but later on it will serve a purpose. I remember when I completed I did my first degree in social studies, then the second degree in counseling services. So I was in Accra, that is the capital of Ghana, and I was posted to a remote area in the central region. I was so mad about it. I did all I could, they didn't change it for me. So once I was in the bus going to my station, I met a gentleman in the bus. And he said, "Lady, you don't look happy." And I said, "I live in Accra, my family is in Accra, and I've been sent to serve in a village. I don't know why." And he said, "Maybe there's a purpose for you, so you just go." So I went to the village and I was posted to Ghana Education Service as a counselor for schools. Then as I got there, the way I did my counseling, when I go to schools and I see that there's a child who needs maybe eye operation, maybe operation of that, because of that he's absenting himself from school, I report to the social welfare and we make sure that he is sent to the hospital to get the appropriate treatment so that he could go back to school. Then the director said, "Okay, Gifty, I could see that you are doing very well. I want you to take additional schedule. So you will be the girls' education officer for the district." So I took that up. And that started the whole thing. So I got so involved in girls' education. I go to the villages, I saw how the girls were suffering. And most of the times you could see that the suffering is coming from the parents. Because the parents do not have, it affects the children. Mostly the girls. And you could see that some of them couldn't even afford common sanitary tissue. So sometimes we have to go to some of the factories, beg that we get some, then we distribute it to the schools. So if a girl comes to school and she doesn't have, then we give it. Then I came across defilement cases of girls, small girls, because you know in Africa, if you cannot look after your child, you send it to a relative or somebody to stay with that child. They go to stay with those people and they defile a number of them. So I said, why not?
Let me ask you a question. Well, after doing all of that, not wanting to leave Accra and
go. I set up an NGO to look into all these things. So I'm saying that I never thought I would even do this social work. But because of where I was posted to, I started doing this job and I find so much happiness in helping girls and women in the rural areas. So that is what I'm just going to say.
Thank you so much for sharing.
It is so amazing that we have so much to share. Our passion is endless. Unfortunately, we have a limited amount of time and we have a lot of speakers, so I have to ask everyone to please keep it to a minimum, and we'll see at the end of it how much time we have, and then we can get into a little discussion. But we want to give all the speakers a chance to come up, and we do have a lot of speakers, and we are on a time restraint. So we'll try to leave all the questions to the end. So this way we'll see how much time we have to interact then. Okay? As you. Let her say her name.
Our next speaker is a Jew, and I'll let her say her last name. I don't want to mangle it. Imongani.
Excellent.
All right. Okay. And she is going to self-introduce. I don't have her bio here with me.
She's awesome. Can we just say that?
I'm trying to be like you.
Awesome.
Yes, I have to give a shout out to all my big sisters. I see another one in the audience there. So my name is Andrew. I'm so sorry. My voice is very low too, so please let me know whenever I go down. So I'm Andrew Lugate in Ghana. Maybe
Oh,
it
Come
is.
closer.
Yeah, maybe up a little bit.
Yes, let me get closer. How about now?
Yeah, that's
Yes. So once again, I'm Anju Lokati Enganya. I'm originally from the Congo, and I have family from Gabon. On the other side of the family, Mali and Senegal. So I'm from all over. And today I'm a New Yorker, like all of you.
Yes.
So today I'm from the African diaspora, like many of you here. I'm an architect engineer working here in New York City. And I will just go quickly over some of the things that I've been doing here in New York, but mainly focusing on a project we're working on in Africa. So here I've worked in several firms, and now I'm mostly working with my own client, just working part-time in an office. Working for residential projects, commercial projects, offices, hospitality. Was product manager on the Clubs Hotel on East 51st Street at Rockefeller Center, taking care of the construction, the design of the facades, coordinating the different trades. I also worked a lot on the luxury boutique for Marc Jacobs. I was part of a small group of architects who were basically taking care of the construction of all the Marc Jacobs stores here and overseas.
Nice.
And we've done a lot of work also in different offices. Today I have a lot of my own clients, and I work very closely with homeowners, helping them to either expand on existing housing or buildings that they may have, or renovate them, as well as doing some of the administrative work when it comes to getting being the liaison really between the owner and the different city agencies, such as Department of Buildings, whether it might be for violations or some additional construction renovation that may have to be done. So it's just your usual everyday architect engineer work here in New York. But I want to quickly just go over some of the work that we've been doing as a small team, which I created really, I want to say 3 years ago, because it took me a good 2 years of my life doing back and forth between here and Africa, and partnering with entities existing in different countries there to not only be aware of the reality there when it comes to construction environment and how it impacts the community, but also better understand how to have a group working here who would be able to contribute to the construction and developing efforts that are already happening in those different countries. So far, we've been very active with countries like Mali, where I work very closely with the Office of the Habitat of Mali. We started doing a collaboration working with the Malian diaspora to actually put together a pre-financing package to help the Malian diaspora, whether it be here or in Europe or other places, to build back home. And that team that we've created is a team consisting mainly of African engineers and architects, and African engineers and architects from the diaspora, meaning the islands and here. We are basically trying to lead by example, thinking, well, you know, instead of talking too much to our people, why don't we show, so that, you know, they would be able to see others of their kind do as well. So this is what we've done with the Malian community. We're starting to work with the community from Ivory Coast. In Ivory Coast, and I work with sister there. In Ivory Coast, I was part of a team who was working on pre-planning and planning for the Cité Alassane, and really working in rethinking the regular everyday social house so that it would really fit with the environment. I specialize in sustainable and anything green, sustainable, durable, meaning not only in the bâtisse, in the building, but also how it can be durable for that community, how well it responds to their way of living. The same way here in America, you would build completely different, not only in terms of codes, but in terms of planning, in terms of ventilation and material. You would build completely different whether you build in Alaska or whether you build in Florida. So the type of concrete mixture would be completely different. And if you don't use the right mixture, it will burst because of the freezing elements in Alaska. And if you use the wrong chipboard or boards behind paint in Florida, you will have mold, and you might not even be able to see it, but you will smell it through the venting system because it's rotting from the inside. So there's all these different elements. So we started working now with the community from Ivory Coast to help them be able to build back home through our pre-financing construction package. And what else? We are very active also with the Senegalese community, who had just called on us to help them build on their housing back home, because the government over there is very active helping people from their diaspora, giving them land so that they can feel like going back home, so that they're not just immigrants somewhere. They can, yes, they can actually buy, and if they can find a contractor that can build for them, then we wanted to become the contractor that can help them with pre-financing. So that's basically it, really, the Senegalese community. And I just want to say something very quickly also on the fact that we've been very active in the Congo as well, but we had to put a hold on that because some of you knows that there's a lot of transition and changes in the Congo happening. Overall, things are fine, except for the fact that we've been dealing with some of you know that we've been dealing with a conflict which is mainly active on the east side, because of a lot of invasion from armed forces countries, from neighborhood east side countries. And because this is a Women's Day, I want to make sure that we have I want to make sure that we have a special thought for those women who are the first victims of those conflicts over there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to say that we're not rushing our speakers, and on our website and also on the video we'll post the complete speech of everyone. But in the interest of time, because we have so many speakers, we have to try to time a little bit more. As you can see, we have a monitor in the back already watching our time. Sorry. So we only have a few, we have less than an hour.
And
so
we are asking that each speaker that comes up, I'll leave my phone here, and when you see 5 minutes, please be cognizant of that. We have about 3 more. Dr. Ron Diaz.
Right. So I just want to say, after Dr. Diaz speaks, we'll take a short break, present the awards, and then we'll continue with the program with the rest of the speakers. Because we do honor and recognize dreamers today, those who follow their dreams, and in doing so have impacted their community. So we'll do the award right after Dr. Diaz, and then we'll continue with the speakers.
Yeah, thank you. May God grant me the wisdom to speak His words. Now, first of all, how do you ask the son of a Baptist preacher to speak for 5 minutes? I can't figure it out. So we'll work on this. I came all the way from the state of Delaware. I've been on the road since 4:30 this morning. And because of the inclement weather, you can see I'm having a very bad hair day. But we'll proceed. I'm going to make this as short as possible. It has nothing to do with my height. I came from a very strong medical background and walked away from medicine after doing 4 years of research work on babies with thalassemia major and thalassemia minor.
Oh, wow.
but I walked away from medicine for several reasons. But God has a way of working with you. I went into business for myself and never looked back. I've never worked for anyone in my life. Don't know what it's like to punch a clock. I've been a strong entrepreneur, built large companies across America, and rang the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange for a major corporation. What's coming back into the medical arena? Approximately, maybe 5 years ago, my youngest daughter she came down with rhabdomyosarcoma, which is a major mold. Some people call it a cancer. I don't use the word cancer, it's a mold. And that turned me around, and I decided to get back involved with homeopathy, which we call integrative medicine today. So I'm leaving one arena, the MD meaning more drugs, to an ND meaning no drugs. I understood the concept, I understood the philosophy, I understood how cancer cells work. And what I had to do, away from the chemo that she got, I implemented 5 different programs. And within the first month, the size of the mold went down to 60%. And after the second month of chemo, they were able to go in there and just snap it out altogether. Since that time, it has never returned. Now, the doctors are calling and they're asking, well, what did you do? Well, I did not do anything.
That's right.
God did it. That's all I can say. God did it. I am saying that I am thankful that Monica recognized what I'm doing in the community. And she said, Ron, you need to be really be awarded for the things that you're doing. Well, what I'm doing right now, I formed a ministry called New Vision Health Ministry. It's an intercessory ministry. And I'm bringing the churches together with the community. But my emphasis is more on cardiovascular disease. The problem we're having today is a major epidemic of what we call, most of you know, diabetes. It's becoming a plague. And as I was reading the 17 goals of the platform that Danny has, your goal number 3 is really based on health and wellness. But I like the idea of preventative medicine. So my objective is to get into schools and small organizations and start making a change from the bottom up. It's very difficult to change from the top down because we're in our own ways already. So my ambition is, I look at the statistics, we see that diabetes are the 7th leading cause of death in the United States. There are approximately 1.25 million American children has type 1 diabetes and don't even know it. And that's because of my training from Dr. Robert Young, who said there's only one sickness we have, there's only one disease that we have, and there's only one cure. And the sickness that we have is the food that we eat. So we have to start working from the food that we eat. There's only one disease that we have. So when someone say you have cardiovascular disease or hypertension, as the case might be, or osteoporosis, those are not diseases. They're symptoms. It's a sign that something is wrong with you. What's wrong with you is that you're overly acidic, which is called acidosis. So if we keep the body in the form of alkalization, then we can eliminate 98% of most of the chronic disease. And that's what I'll be teaching as I move around the community. Someone told me to give a good speech, you have to be practice the 5 B's. Be brief, baby, be brief. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ron. And as Monica mentioned earlier, we're going to take, wow, I was looking and he was brief. We're going to take a short break while we recognize our honorees here today. And these are women and men who are performing exemplary in the community. And so we are going to call the honorees up, and as we call them, we'll invite them to stay standing in front of the room for the photographers. And Monica, kindly let me know when you're ready. Our first honoree is Joy Agnes. Joy is the CEO and founder of Joy Agnes Events. She is an author of Wedding and Events Planning 101. Joy is an author, professor, event specialist, designer, entrepreneur, and media personality. She has worked with many A-lister companies and non-profit organizations over the course of several decades. With the help of her reputation, she's credited a creative team that works in different sections of event planning. Joy also does a whole lot of work in assisting young people to get into the entrepreneurial business. If you want, and I can tell you, the book, Wedding and Event Planning 101, if you want to plan a small event or a large event, that book actually shows you how to do it. So you wouldn't, eventually you wouldn't need to call Joy to do it for you. She's teaching you to do it for yourselves. So I would advise everyone, when you get a chance to pick up one of those books, you could get it on Amazon. Just go in and type in Wedding and Events Planning 101, and you could definitely order a copy of that book.
Joy, because Joy has followed her dream, and this award says it's Actor Danny Glover Pop Dreams Award, and it says it's given to a person who followed their dreams and in doing so contribute to the uplifting and improvement of a person, place, or thing. We also got a citation from Assemblyman Nick Perry and also a citation from State Senator Kevin Parker. So these are yours. Congratulations. She certainly has followed her dreams. And we're going to go through it quickly and have everybody up here. Stay here. Stay here. Someone here. And Linda, please go like this. I don't know what this is. Yes.
Our next honoree is Dr. Justina Mutel.
There you go. This is our Power of Dream Award that I just, and this is what the citation looks like from the from Kevin Parker, State Senator Kevin Parker, and I'll just we'll just go through all the honorees and then we'll take a picture. Wait, I think
Our next honoree is Byra Lynn Jones. Byra Lynn Jones, right here.
There you go. Let me hold her other. Oh, okay. Of course, as I explained, each person is receiving the Danny Glover Pop Dreams Award and also a citation from the state senator and a citation from the state assembly person. I just think here, let me see this question. What were your list? The next on the list.
Jenny Lynn Griffith.
Dr. Sanchez.
I also want to say that Mr. Glover was trying very hard to be here, but his schedule did not allow him. This is your citation from the state senator, and this is the one from the state assembly person. Okay. So it's all yours, not mine.
Next is Saran Kamara.
I don't know if Ms. Camera mentioned that she works for the State Controller's Office. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dr. Ron Diaz.
Okay, right there.
Ali Kake is next.
Of course you can. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Alpha Ali.
Alfred, I don't think this. Amma, would you accept this on his behalf? Amma.
Alpha and Amma. Janice White.
I feel like
one more.
I'm sure.
Claudette V. Smith. Andrew Imongaya. Imongaya. I got it.
My coach from today. I forgot to put it out there. She actually sent me a reminder. She was like, Alina,
Can we get her boss up here with her? Come on up there. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
That's good to do that. Instagram or Facebook? LinkedIn. I have to do a better job of that. Yeah. They're going to be teacher.
I get a picture. Go ahead, take it.
Oh, then you just text me. Good. I love it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you know, every day it's just coming from the heart. I don't feel like
Close your eyes. You can go see her.
it helps every single day. Yeah, I'm
Tangerine Clark.
No, I don't mind. That's why I don't want to disrespect.
Come on, sweetie. No one can say your name properly, but good girl.
What's the name?
And you.
Hey, Miss Colette Hyman.
No, Tangerine.
Colette is on
Colette.
Yes. Yeah, but it didn't get to her.
You said it perfect.
Wow.
You have Bonnie.
Oh, great, thank you.
I don't want to get in your way.
What's your stepmom?
No, I don't want to get in his way because he has the main camera. Thank you so much. Hold on, Colette. Don't stop smiling. Don't stop smiling. Thank you. Good morning. Oh, Shad. Oh, Shad. Like the, yes. I do. It's homework practice. I'm an OBGYN. Yeah, can we do a homework present?
Just bear with us.
Kind of rushed it.
We have the best delegation out here. Cardiac patients are patients that absent.
Open your eyes.
Stay away from meds. Okay. What are the choices we have rather than
Pat, you want to accept this on behalf of Tangerine Farm?
And holistic tinctures, like things like my grandmother used to make plant-based products and that kind of thing.
I just want to say that you're supposed to get 3 awards, the Danny Glover,
digital card,
the 2 proclamations. So if you didn't get one, just bear with me and let me know. It's somewhere probably at the office. Tangerine Clark, she's not here. I know she couldn't come, but this is one of her colleagues, so I'll let her accept on behalf of her. She's doing some wonderful media work.
They're all got a llama with a certificate.
Yeah. Yeah, so you put them in line. The next, so come in line.
I'll text you my card. I'm going to text you my card. Now, what's the last name? So I can...
Yeah, next one, coming.
Let's have a A-T-H. All right, I'm going to add you in my
we work with doctors around the world. She won the award for the entire
Photographer.
Huh? Yeah, in New York and as well as in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, so let me email you and then I'm going to send you my card. And then I only do digital cards because we're green now. So I'm going to text it to you and then you can send me anybody you want to connect.
We're gonna line up and take a group picture and everything. When we finish. And then we're gonna do a group picture.
Okay. That is awesome.
Let's keep up the good work.
Put it in the back.
It's not, it can't be. And we cannot.
Yes, you did. I gave you mine. Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
One more. Excuse me, one more.
I would love to have a photo.
Yes.
Can all of the honorees step in front? All of the honorees can just step right here.
It was amazing.
In the UN, we can't say God Almighty and are you going to be in the United States or do I want to travel to Belgium? Oh, you're going to be then. And I have a digital card, so I'll just email you. Okay, perfect. We're giving away the cards.
It's just problems from Northern Ireland.
And I'm so sorry, but thank you so much. So, are you free or you just have, because if it's tomorrow, it'll probably be like early 11 o'clock. Is that okay? And then I'll come here, I can come to you, I'll review it, and then we can speak about the mission and what it is that we want to do, how we can help you, and what it is that we can offer. I love tea, so anywhere we can Starbucks. But thank you. So this is for everyone. So I can help you and then everyone will listen and then forward. Thank you so much. And I don't know where you're located.
We're in Long Island Civic. We're Best Western from Plaza Long Island Civic.
Yeah, but let me see what you know over there. Contracts unofficially with certain restaurants, and we'll see which one is close by, and then we'll just put you together. I don't think we know we haven't started. You come and you come.
Danny, your boys in front. Let's push in.
I'm going live because we are closing up. I'm going live.
Excuse me, let's just focus for the group because we are getting out.
No live.
That's great.
Excuse me.
Are all the honorees there? Are all the honorees
The
there?
cameraman today.
Everybody's here?
The people, we have to back up and move out.
Yeah. Please cooperate.
Monica got it, get it.
Jesus.
No, Monica.
Mr. Cassidy, come on. Everybody in? Please, come on. Let's cooperate.
If we stay for the next event, that's fine.
There's another event here. Please, can we cooperate so we can, That's it. 1 minute. Okay, thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. Stay. Please. I said tell you to move.
Princess.
All right, let's move it.
Next event, you can speak as
Let's move it.
Yeah.